Our first hindrance, though, was the ship itself. We crashed into the harbor after all, so a regular plank would probably be dangerous to cross over. We already lost one of ours to the cold sea after all. We didn't want that to happen again. Luckily, we had some ropes with us, so we made some knots on the railing and climbed down, always facing towards the navy blue hull of the ship, which throned upon the pier. While 3 of us felt indifferent or even determined, a nervous expression could be seen in Jack's and Lisa's faces, with an eventual relief once they touched the hard betonized ground of the pier. Lisa clearly had never done that, but Jack? Was it the fear of heights or anxiety? I should have known. He was a thorough American and a harborman in NYC before he joined our captain's crew, so he quickly scrambled for our map, which he found in my backpack. A bit harsh, but I digress. We had an all-out apocalypse in front of our heads after all. New York City Harbor headquarters was a few blocks away from our ship, so walking there shouldn't have taken us long. Each step was continuously harder to make, until the whole street was barred by a stack mountain of broken Chrysler's highwaymen and public buses, an impenetrable dam of rust and steel. "What do we do now, map boy?" said Lisa mockingly, while glimpsing over to Jack. He suddenly turned around and shouted with an angry voice, "Well, what do you think, mastermind? The goddamn street is blocked. You suggest we just climb over that death trap?" She wanted to set up a punch, but before she could throw it, her arm found itself in the grip of our chef's bionic hand. "Just let me go," she frustratingly mumbled at him while shaking herself out of his iron grip. There was a huge bus in front of us. Its orange and red stripes spanned from one end of the road to the other. There was no way through. In between the apartment blocks were just us and a huge rusting obstacle. The situation appeared fishy from the first minute, and with each one passing, the thought of it finally happening, after all those years of conflict between the People's Republic of China and the USA, grew exponentially. I knew some were just in a state of shock since our crew members died, and we had to freeze what was left of them in our chef's freezing chamber. But some of us, such as myself, were simply eager to normalize the situation. Make the best out of it. Hell, even come back to normality. "So what do you think we should do, quiet guy?" Lisa tried to calm the situation by addressing the one who had an entirely negative opinion of her. I guess if there's an opening, we can go through the bus and break one of the windows to get out of the other side. Just, we have to work together for that. You understand me, Lisa? Whoa, didn't know Mr. Deep and Mysterious could actually be helpful, she shouted sarcastically, but still surprised. Negativo, hombre, Köpenick's voice flashed. The door is shut, and if we go through the window, we probably just end up hurting ourselves. Well then, the chef said confidently, if I've learned something from working as a cook for sailors for 30 years, it's that there's always a substitute if you don't have an ingredient aboard. Indeed, Köpenick interrupted him before he could share any other wise words. This is a dead end. I suggest we go north and just try our luck with other streets. They can't all be barred with magic buses, can they? I mentioned to my team. So our odyssey continued. We probably only were wandering around for about an hour or so, but it felt like an eternity. But it could also just have been the immense amount of adrenaline that slowed down time while going through a city without people, which apparently no one in my crew or even group had mentioned. But I guess if I had brought up that at this time, it would have only complicated the situation. Everyone just had their tunnel vision focused on NY Harbor HQ. I wondered what the people on our ship went through at that moment. Having a steady and fast pace, we began to hurry through the ruins, Some billboards and the TVs behind gigantic store windows were still functioning. Life is a race. Win it! The new Corvega for only $399,999. Sugar bombs, made in America. And Vault Tech. And list now to be prepared for the future.